Welcome to another episode of the Online Prosperity Experience podcast. You're about to hear your host, Prosper Taravinga's powerful digital marketing strategies and actionable tactics that you can use right now. Prosper has helped more than 50,000 people from over 10 countries to create meaningful businesses that are profitable and enjoyable. Listen to this podcast so that you too can build your own business with less stress and overwhelm. Let's get started.
Do you have a marketing plan for your coaching or consulting business? Now, obviously, creating a marketing plan is one of the best ways that you can use to attract your ideal customers so that you've got people and clients that will pay, stay, and refer. Now, in this podcast, I'm going to share with you, why you want a marketing plan, first of all, and what is actually a marketing plan, because a lot of people think marketing is just being on social media or going out to the dog and pony show, which so happens to be the networking of these days. You literally need to have a plan, because you can't just show up at any of these different places, and expect people to actually know what it is that you are there for and what it is that you can do for them. Remember, people only listen to marketing that is directed at them. So I'll share with you what a marketing plan is and what's in a marketing plan and how to actually create a plan for your coaching and consulting business. All right. So the first thing you may be asking yourself is, why should I create a marketing plan for my coaching business? You're probably thinking, I've already got a business plan. Why do I need to have yet another plan that I'm probably just going to shelve, in my hard drive and never have to look at it again? Now, let me tell you something. When you're starting a coaching or consulting business, 9 times out of 10, you're probably coming from a 9-to-5 role in which you were only showing up to fulfill your job, and you never had to worry about the content. You never had to worry about the positioning of the business. You just saw clients coming in and you just worked with them. But when you start your own business, you literally have to make sure that you are across everything that your business is supposed to be doing. So that's why you end up finding yourself cold calling potential clients and having them hang up in your face, because they don't know who you are. You haven't identified your target market, and you don't even know what you want your target market to ask you to do for them. So when you start a coaching business, you're going to need to market, that business in and of itself. No clients are just going to show up on your doorstep just because you've started a business. So marketing actually helps get the word out about the business and actually connect with your ideal clients. And because, if they don't know that you exist, how are they going to be able to hire you? You know what I mean? So that's why a lot of people end up sending hundreds of emails without even getting as much as, hey, thank you so much for reaching out, because they just spraying and praying with their marketing. There's no actual plan, in order for them to actually get those clients to convert into customers that actually pay, stay, and refer. But I also want to be very, very clear, and I'm going to be saying this with utmost love and respect, that there's a lot of misconceptions that arise when it comes to marketing, okay? And you might actually be subscribing to some of these misconceptions without actually knowing that they are actually hurting your reach. And what's the point in you marketing and trying to put yourself out there when you're actually stepping yourself in the toe, or stubbing yourself in the toe, so to speak, in a way that is actually, cramping your style the more you are putting yourself out there. First of all, I want you to realize, and I want you to draw a line in the sand and really, really, maybe smack yourself 2 or 3 times, across the face, and get this to sink in. Marketing is not just social media. If you find yourself just on Facebook, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, or on TikTok, and that is your only sort of marketing, you're cruising for bruising. All right. Marketing is not just social media. All right. And it's social media is just a type of marketing. Whereas you're literally just putting yourself in front of an audience that is not yet curated, but you're making yourself be known, in a sea of other people that are also producing the same products or services that you're putting out there. So, as a coach or consultant, if you don't have, like a sales funnel behind your marketing that has risks, that has offers, and ways to actually convert those people into a customer that pays, stays, and refers, then you literally do not have a business. Because if these social media platforms decide to take you off, their platform, then you've got no place to call home or a place to stand on. And half of the time when this happens, you literally would have to, crawl back to that 9 to 5 job with your tail tucked between your legs because you can't bring in any new clients. And half of the what I've also noticed about social media is, these platforms can change the algorithm not to suit you or so that you can reach more of your target audience. No, it's to suit them so that you stay longer on the platforms and you pay more money to reach the people that you want to be reaching. So if your marketing is just social media, I advise you that from now on, you literally try and change that dynamic, because you are at the mercy of all these platforms, whether they change the algorithm or not, in order for you to reach out to your audience. Social media should only be the top of the funnel, where you're literally using that to put out your blog articles, to put out your YouTubes, to put out podcasts like this, or whatever interviews you've done with people. Ask people to subscribe to your ebooks, and ask people to buy or purchase your templates, whatever reports that you have, or if you've created any white papers or any guides or any resources. This is when people are getting to know you, so you're giving them low risk offers. And social media is a really good tool to utilize in order for you to pass on all of the things that I've mentioned for the 75% of the market that is simply looking for information. All right. So if you understand that marketing is not just social media, you are halfway towards success, because a lot of people are so heavily dependent, on their profiles on social media, and, they don't have any other functional marketing happening behind the scenes. Okay. And, it's quite sad when a lot of people lose access to their social media and they feel like even their business is actually going to close, pretty much after that, because they don't see any other way of marketing their business. Okay. And while we're still talking about social media, I don't know if people still do that these days. I'm not on social media to see this, but a lot of coaches think that marketing means going live all the time. Yeah. They think that being live to their audience is an actual marketing thing to do, which they should be maybe doing every single day. Let me tell you one thing: the more you're going live on Facebook, you are literally creating content for the platform. You're not creating solid assets for your own business. Okay. Money follows assets. And anytime that you're putting content out there, just like this podcast right now, I'm recording it right on my computer, and I'm going to put it on platforms that I will utilize myself, and I can control the algorithm on that. And I will then use email to reach out to my audience using this podcast and this content, because I've created an asset. It's a 30-minute asset where you are learning from me, and we've got this intimate one-to-one time that no one else can interrupt. So marketing, if you think that you're marketing to your audience just by going live all the time, let me tell you something. If you're just doing it on one platform, there are plenty of other marketing channels that actually don't require video. Look at this podcast right now. Right, you're missing out on the people that love listening to you. You're missing out on people that might not have time to watch you while you're live at that particular moment. Back in the time, yes, it used to work where people would sit around TV and watch their weekly episode. But now that the people are accustomed to binge watching at their own convenience, you doing a live show, you're literally speaking to people that are actually not even doing anything with their lives, because who has the time to be around when you also have time to be showing out your video on live? So, it's a myth to think that marketing means going live all the time. You can literally run a business, first of all, without social media like I do, and without stressing yourself by going live all the time. Because when you're live, what if you make a mistake? What if something happens? What if an emergency arises and you're live online? Do you know what I mean? You're just putting yourself in a position to not be able to run a business without your own involvement. Right now, yes, I might sit around every single day and record this podcast, but I'm not doing it with the anxiety of, oh my God, what if people are listening to me right now? No, this is pre-recorded, all right? I might have done it a week before, a year before, or 2 years before, but it's still relevant, okay? Whereas when you do a live video online, that's it. You've gone through all those emotions, you've gone through all that hype and everything else. Oh, for what? For that 30 minutes that will never be replayed ever again? You might as well create assets in your marketing, and that should be part of your marketing plan, okay? And one of the misconception, a lot of coaches, come to us as marketing consultants. They say marketing means paying for Facebook and Instagram ads. They think that is marketing for their business. You know what I mean? Let me tell you something. Advertising is a form of paid marketing. However, there are many ways for you to market your business for free. And a lot of people are wasting thousands of dollars on ad spend without even generating any qualified leads, because they think that just being on Facebook and advertising on Facebook and Instagram will generate all the leads that they want. No, that's not how it works. You are using Facebook as a channel to drive people back to your properties. You're using Facebook as a channel to drive people back to your website, not it being the be it and end all. All right. So if you're wasting thousands of dollars on ad spend right now, I suggest you stop. Yes, you know what I mean? Facebook will keep, throwing you a bit of slack here and there, showing you that you can actually, connect with your audience. But guess what? It's all, tipped towards them. That's how they're making their money. So you might be thinking, oh my God. So you say cold calling my potential clients and having them hang up in my face is not marketing. So you say being on social media and advertising on Instagram and Facebook is not marketing. And you say sending out hundreds of emails without getting as much as thank you for not reaching out is not marketing. So what exactly is marketing, Prosper? I'm glad you asked. Let me tell you something. Marketing is any activity to take you with the intention of attracting your audience. All right? Right? Whatever activity you take with the intention of attracting an audience, that is marketing. So it could be your blogging, your YouTube, your podcast, your interviews, your ebooks, your templates, your reports, your white papers, your guides, some social media, whatever trials that people can go through on your website, demos, the about us section in your website. That is marketing. People want to know who you are and why they should care to learn from you. Okay, if any frequently asked questions you might have, newsletters, webinars, endorsements, being on other people's podcasts, all of those things are marketing. So marketing is any activity that you take with the intention of attracting your audience, not just social media, not just Facebook, not just Instagram. Right? And I know this is a pretty broad definition, and that's why it's so important to clarify which activities will actually work best for you to reach out to your ideal audience. Okay, so your marketing is basically sharing about your business, and then selling so happens to be inviting people to work with you. So a lot of people put both those things into the same basket: marketing and selling. You need to have a plan to literally, do the activities that you need to take and implement with the intention of attracting your audience. That is what marketing is. All right. So you might be asking, what should I then consider when creating a marketing plan for my coaching or consulting business? Right? When you're marketing a coaching or consulting business, your primary objective is often to get known. All right. You want to be known as the coach. You want to be known as the advisor, and you want to be known as the person, as the authority for whatever niche that you're going to be working in. All right. And you also want to be able to attract an audience to that thought leadership that you're putting out there, and ultimately sign on new coaching and consulting clients. That's your overall goal: to get known, to attract the people, and to sign on these new clients. That's it. And if you're doing anything that is not contributing to these three things of being known, of attracting an audience, and ultimately signing these people into customers that pay, stay, and refer, you're wasting your time. But let me tell you what, the good news is there's a variety of ways for you to do this. And it's not just maybe, limited to the things that I'm going to give you an idea of. But if you're doing any of these things, then at least you are in the race of getting known as a coach or consultant, of attracting the right kind of people with the right kind of pain that you can solve problems for. And you want to convert these people into people that pay, stay, and refer. That is how business and winning is done. Right? So there's a variety of ways of you to do this. First of all, you can start a podcast or be a guest on somebody else's podcast. You can speak at a summit, or you can speak at a virtual event. You can be an affiliate partner, of somebody who offers similar products but not conflicting or competing products. You can actually start an email newsletter. You can start writing regular blog articles. You can start regular YouTube series. You can even start your own podcast like this one here. You can even go to in-person events where you can meet with either partners or people that will become your ideal customer. And one other thing that a lot of people try and run away from is to build out the SEO on your website. And SEO, if you would ask me, it means simply educating others. Educate people on who you are, what you do, and why they should care to learn from you. And if you're the right kind of person with the right kind of solutions, people will seek you out. You know why? People are coming to the internet to get information. And if your website is properly optimized, to disseminate this information, then people get to know you, like you, and trust you. And we all know that people do business with those they know, like, and trust. Yeah? So coaching and consulting are one of the fastest growing industries in the world. Second only to tech, expertise. And with this growing competition, guess what? It's actually become necessary for you as a coach or consultant to actually stand out with your marketing efforts. You can be one of the best coaches in the world, but if nobody knows of your existence, it doesn't matter. So that's why you need a plan. That's why you need a plan for you to execute each and every one of these multiple facets of ways that you can actually get known and be found, because it doesn't matter if you're the best in the business and nobody actually knows of your existence. And I know right now as a coach or consultant, it's, being that in and of itself, marketing is just one aspect of running a successful business. You go from hiring and managing new staff, balancing books, driving growth, and a lot more things that, demand your attention. And it all feels like maybe it's a constant balancing act where you're pulled in all different directions all at once. And at the end of the day, your real goal is just to help your clients. You want to spend as much time as possible changing people's lives and solving people's problems, and you don't want to waste countless hours each week trying to navigate the world of online marketing. Well, you don't have to if you've got a plan. There's a list of things that you could be doing, and if you put them into a plan and you execute on that plan, it no longer seems like work. It actually becomes part of your routine, just like it's now part of my routine that every single day at 12 p.m. I show up on this podcast and I'm doing the work. So no matter what kind of marketing that you choose to do, you want a marketing plan for your coaching or consulting business that ties it all together. Otherwise, a lot of stuff will be left in the cracks. Let me tell you something. A successful coaching or consulting professional is somebody who can get their marketing right. Instead of just focusing on word of mouth and maybe LinkedIn, if you're a professional that actually leverages different offline and online marketing tools, you actually stand out in the marketplace. You know why? It takes about 12 to 21 touch points for somebody to actually start listening to your message. So how are you going to be one of the best if nobody knows of your existence, bro? So what is a marketing plan for a coaching or consulting business? An effective marketing plan for your business actually defines the specific, measurable marketing tactics that you will take with the intention of actually attracting your audience and growing your business. What are those things that you're going to be doing? When and how often? Because yes, just dabbling in doing a podcast is not going to be actually, scrapping the surface and actually making a reach. Right now, if you look at this podcast, we are in season 5, and each season has 50 episodes that are 30 minutes long. If I didn't have a marketing plan, I wouldn't even done maybe 10 or so of these episodes. You know why? Because the plan wouldn't have shown me exactly what it actually means and what work is going to be involved. So, you need to have a plan. And the best marketing plans have a few things in common. Let me just tell you what these things actually are so that you can see if your marketing plan has any of these things. First of all, your business is unique to you. So your marketing plan should be based on your overall goals, not what anybody else or another guru thinks is the best way to market your business. What do you want to achieve? Where do you want to be? Who do you want to become? That's what you're going to put your marketing towards. Because I've created my business around me showing up on this podcast, and it has now become the integral, the list generating, tool that I now use, and it is now part of my overall business goals. So your marketing plan should also be focused on those select few things that you are competent in and specific marketing channels that you are happy to show up in. Because if you're going to be doing all those things, that's not a strategy. Because then you're dabbling in, a few of these channels. I think it was Bruce Lee that mentioned that I'm not afraid of a person that has mastered 10,000 kicks. I'm afraid of that person who has mastered one kick and practiced it 10,000 times. Go deep. All right? And once you know what you're capable of and what you're happy to do, is it actionable and measurable? Is it something that you can measure? How long are you doing it and how often are you showing up? Is it actually client focused or is it just selfish to you? Meaning that it's actually based on the right kind of people with the right kind of pain that you want to solve problems for and the actual people you want to attract so they can buy from you eventually. Does it actually give you a plan of action so you know exactly what to do and when and how to execute? Because half of the time, the reason why we are not actually executing on our marketing is because we actually do not know what to do or what the next logical step is. So while a marketing plan will look different for each business, like each coach, each consultant has different training, has different consulting methodologies, has different information, has different expertise, has different speaking, capabilities. Even if you're in the same niche, you should have at least knowledge of what your business goals are. You should have knowledge of at least what you are capable of executing in, and you should basically know what your clients want, and you be the person that shows up every single time to deliver that promise. Yeah, you know what I mean? So at the end of the day, you now need to create a marketing plan for your coaching business. And let me tell you something. I recommend maybe creating a quarterly marketing plan for your business, because planning 3 months at a time actually allows you to focus on a specific time frame, and you can actually get more tactical. And if it's something that is not working, you're not engaging yourself for a long time. And if it's something that actually works, it really does take a long time for a habit to actually kick in. And, if you're doing 3 things in 3-month intervals, you know what I mean? Business changes so quickly. So an annual marketing plan becomes stale after a few months. Look at how maybe Facebook changes its algorithm, Google changes their algorithm, and so on. So if you're going to be going into a quarterly marketing plan, you should include things like your business goals for that quarter. How many accounts do you need to sell to? How many new leads do you need to generate? How much actual income do you need to make? And, in that quarter, what is the minimum that you have to make to meet your expenses? And what is like the wow figure that you want to earn in that quarter? And what is the wow, this will be amazing if I can make this kind of money? And then start putting, strategies and tactics in place so that you meet those goals for that quarter. And your marketing plan should actually include your ideal client. Who exactly do you need to be speaking to? Because if you know the right kind of person with the right kind of pain, you will speak their language and you'll be calling out to them through and through. And pretty much after that, you need to understand, what are you offering? What are you actually selling? What are you inviting people to? What are you going to be launching? What products and services are you actually going to be giving in that particular quarter? And you need to make sure that you execute on that. And your marketing plan should include your key messaging. You need to clarify your message. When you have discovered who your ideal client is, what are you going to say to them? How are you going to convince them you are the right kind of person to work with them? And pretty much once you've got all that in check, you need the exact marketing channels and the tactics that you're going to be using. Because if you don't have the step-by-step, guess what? It becomes all overwhelming, and you put it in the too hard basket, and then eventually you don't execute. So you need to figure out your content plan. You need to, include all the content pillars and all the key themes of exactly what is needed to be executed and who needs to be around you in order for you to actually execute on the plan that you have. And once you've got that, a goal without a deadline, is merely a wish. You need to actually have key dates and key timings, because throughout the quarter, there are other holidays, like Black Friday, Cyber Monday, or Valentine's, or whatever it is. Is your marketing also geared to be, speaking to those holidays? And do you have actual timelines and launch dates in place in your marketing plan? And one thing that we all know, what gets measured, grows. So how will you measure and track your results? And pretty much through and through, what sort of resources are you going to need to carry out the plan? Do you have the softwares? Do you have the team members that you need in order to actually get this going? All of this should be part of your marketing plan. So if you want help creating a marketing plan for your coaching or consulting business, I encourage you to just come and have a chat with me. Because as a business coach, or as a coach for coaches, I help my clients create a marketing plan that is actually based on their strengths and actually attracts their right ideal clients. There's no point in you creating a marketing plan that is not actually helping you, get the right kind of clients with the right kind of pain, Because at the end of the day, you don't want to be wasting your time. So if you would like help to take advantage of creating a marketing plan that actually works and sells you through all these challenging times, I invite you to, schedule a call with me. And we'll actually work hands-on with you to develop a strategic plan, and then we'll deep dive and work through your ideal client clarity. Because if you're clear on who you're selling to, that's half of the work, that will make your marketing easy and also make your business profitable and enjoyable. Because once you've got your client clarity, it's easy to then, clarify your message. So we'll work on your strategic messaging, look at your coaching and consulting offers, and then also look at the fees and pricing. Because once you've got your marketing right, you're going to be attracting a lot of people. So you want to make sure that you're actually being paid and being compensated, in equilibrium to the value that you bring to the marketplace. And if you're not quite set up, I'll help you with your business model optimization so that you can literally create the value that you need to be creating for your audience, so that you're not just spraying and praying with your marketing. And pretty much after that, I'll just help you set up your marketing engine and your lead generation system so you can consistently attract the ideal clients that are going to be paying, staying, and referring. Like for real, marketing is not just focusing on word of mouth or LinkedIn. You need to leverage different offline and online marketing tools so you can actually stand out in your marketplace. I mean, at the end of the day, if you're not creating for and relating to the audience that you're going to be demanding money off of, it will be very difficult for you to actually grow. And at the end of the day, you want a business that's profitable and enjoyable. So I'm hoping that, you just by listening to this, you would have created for yourself, a plan within your day to actually create a marketing plan that you can check on every quarter to make sure that you're creating a business that's profitable and enjoyable. And if you're passionate about doing the work that you're meant to be doing, and living an inspired life while doing it, that you need to have a plan in place. As you know, my mission is to help coaches and consultants like you build a brand that they're proud of and create a lifestyle that you absolutely love. It starts with the marketing plan. Bye for now.
Thank you for joining us today. If you have any questions, let's continue the conversation in the Live Long Digital community. Become a Live Long Digital community member today. This community is for ambitious entrepreneurs and small business owners with the drive to take control of the future of their businesses and achieve huge success without stress and overwhelm. As you heard, Prosper can help you by teaching you marketing strategies that work. So look no further than the Live Long Digital community of entrepreneurs and highly successful business owners. Join our community today. Find us on www.community.livelongdigital.com.au. Network with other driven entrepreneurs and find the expert guidance you need to take your business to the next level. www.community.livelongdigital.com.au